Hi there. Today we are making cranberry sauce. Now, yay, how festive, right? And I wanted to make sure we got this out before Christmas, but didn't do it for Thanksgiving. This is not, if you're used to the stuff that comes out of a can, if that's what you grew up with and you have a lot of fondness and childhood warm fuzzies around that can that comes out like a thing and it gets sliced, I don't know if you'll love this or not. I would encourage you to try. I didn't grow up with a can. I grew up with the homemade stuff, and I can't eat the canned stuff. But I'm not dissing your can. You do you. I'm just saying if you want to try making it yourself, why not? It is super easy and doesn't require a lot of ingredients and isn't particularly expensive to make.
Good.
Now today I'm making a sort of highfalutin version, but I'm putting the very basic recipe as well down below so that you can see you can make this with water, sugar, cranberries, nothing else, okay? And it's awesome just like that. But today I decided to spice things up a little. So let's get at it, okay?
It's your tribute to John Lennon. Because
Is it?
yeah, that whole Paul is dead thing,
Yeah.
when everyone says it was actually John Lennon saying cranberry sauce in the back of the track. Anyway, that's a bit of music.
Are you
tribute.
sure about that? Is that apocryphal?
No, it's 100% true.
Okay. Anyway,
I read it on the internet.
Oh
That's
no! Okay, so we're gonna start with, I squeezed the juice out of one orange, please. No,
In
no 3D. No 3D, I'm not the count. Okay, so I squeezed the juice out of one orange and then topped it up to the half cup line. So you could just use half cup of water. I topped it up with water, I should
Orange
say that.
juice is better.
It's got more flavor, and orange and cranberry is a really nice combination. I'm adding a quarter cup of brown sugar, a quarter cup of white sugar, and a small cinnamon stick. And I'm going to turn the heat on and get it just to the point where the sugar's dissolved before we add the cranberries. So that's a fairly high temp, and that's fine because there's moisture in there. I'm not too worried about it. So the yumminess from the cinnamon is going to come out in there, and both of those sugars are going to dissolve into the juice and make this syrup, basically a cinnamon orange syrup. Now, one of the things that I love about cranberries, you'll see as we go along. So obviously, I love the flavor of cranberries. That's first and foremost. If it doesn't taste good, why would you be eating it? But secondly, look at this color.
Just cries
Isn't that gorgeous?
Just cries out for vodka and a martini glass.
It is just to me, the most festive color. And I love it. It's gorgeous, right? And cranberries are also really good for you.
Yes.
So, and loads of them grow in BC. We are one of the biggest producers, apparently, growers of cranberries in the world.
Quite literally knee deep in cranberries.
So they're boggy. So they're local as well, which is great. And the other thing I love about them is, unlike when you're making jam and you need to maybe add some pectin or something like that, cranberries, when they burst open, have their own natural pectin. They thicken all by themselves. How awesome is that? And then the sauce ends up being this jewel-toned, gorgeous, tart, sweet yumminess that, yes, of course, you can have it with your turkey or your ham or whatever. I think we're having duck breast this year, and I think it'll be really nice with that. But you can also, have it with peanut butter, put it over your vanilla ice cream. There are uses for cranberry sauce.
How's that doing?
So I've got a little bit of, I can see a little bit of brown sugar that's not fully dissolved down there, but you know what? I know that that's going to dissolve completely as we cook this. So your cranberries can be fresh, they can be frozen. You don't need to thaw them first. These are slightly thawed because we had them out on the counter for a bit, but you can put them in totally frozen. So this is 170 grams of cranberries, which for our bag of frozen cranberries was half a bag. And I will make sure I put the ounces down below. I can't tell you what that is off the top of my head. I don't do ounces. So we're just gonna pop those in
About
there.
5.5.
If you say so, but I'm still gonna do the conversion online.
Had a misspent youth of converting grams to ounces.
Don't give away all your secrets, hon. Anyway, so we're gonna cook these again on a fairly high heat. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna start to boil and the cranberries are going to burst open. And like I said, when they do that, it starts to thicken up. Now,
Do you need to cover it? Is it
No.
going to splatter or anything?
No.
Or not explode?
no, it's good. They individually burst, but it's not like the whole pan goes crazy, right? It's not popcorn here.
That'd be bad.
So we're going to, I can see it's coming up to temperature. It's already a simmer around the sides, a very low simmer, but it's getting there. And it's gonna come up and they're gonna start to burst while I stir it. I don't need to stir it yet, but as they burst, that stuff that's in there can stick to the bottom. So you need to stir it once they start bursting. And then really it cooks very quickly and it will be a little runnier in the pan hot than it will be after it's had a chance to cool down to either room temperature or fridge temperature.
How long does it keep in the fridge?
It can keep for weeks, like, I don't know, maybe even a month. Like, you know, it
Maybe till
keeps
next
in the
Christmas.
fridge. It keeps in the fridge really well. You could freeze it as well. It's great with cheese. I didn't say that. So, you know, there are all sorts of uses for it, even if you've already had your turkey or whatever it is that you're having for your holiday. I'm going to turn this up even higher. And so you can serve it warm. You can serve it at room temperature. I personally don't like to serve it like straight out of the fridge. So right before you serve it, you might want to, or half an hour before you serve it, you might want to take it out of the fridge before serving. You know what, Ruff? I think we should let the good people go and come back because even though I know this doesn't take very long, they don't need to see this.
Okay.
So it's been about 4 minutes, and I want you to have a look at this. You can see the color has deepened, and you can see how some of the cranberries have burst, and you can even help it along by using your spoon or your spatula to just smush the cranberries up against the sides.
It's a technical term.
Smush, it is. Totally is. See, like that one, and smush. Oh, it's so satisfying. It's kind of like popping a zip. I said that. I did.
Infinitely tastier.
Yeah. Ew.
Ew.
Okay, so we're pretty close here. I'm going to take out that cinnamon stick because I know that
It's a crunchy bit.
once the cranberry sauce starts to set up as it cools, it's harder to get the cinnamon stick out. Now, you could just leave it in there and work around it whenever you scoop some out to use, but I'm going to take it out right now, and it'll go in the compost because it's done its job, you know? So when you see that it looks like there really aren't any whole berries left, you're pretty much almost at that point. Now I did want to mention, if you like the canned stuff that is just jelly that has no berries in it, what you could do with this is you could either blitz it with a stick blender. That won't get it totally smooth, or while it's still warm, you could push it through a sieve. And what you'd end up getting is a really clear red jelly without the bits in it. But I like the bits, and the bits are good for you because the seeds are in there and that's fiber. And we all need fiber, you know, we do. Okay, so I think we're done here. Come have a look at what it's doing on the side. Can you see how it's kind of up on the side and it's syrupy and heavy?
Is it like the coating the spoon kind of
It's
thing?
exactly what it is, except I don't have a spoon to show you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in just a little pinch of salt, and again,
Salt? I
not
thought
absolutely
sugar.
necessary, but I started doing this a couple of years ago out of, I don't know why, and I notice when it's not there now. It's not that you get a salt hit ever, it's just if it's not there, there's nothing. You've got the sweet and you've got the sour, and the salt just kind of balances the
Chili's
two.
missing.
You could do that. You could totally, like a jalapeno jelly, you could totally add chilies to this and it would be lovely.
Habanero cranberry sauce.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah,
Chipotle
exactly,
cranberry.
yeah.
I mean, why not, right? So, the last thing I'm going to add,
Are you
because...
pouring me a shot?
No.
Okay.
You can have one later if you like, if you're good.
If I'm good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I'll shut
naughty,
it-
nice,
I'll
all
shut
of
it
that.
down.
So, because we're going with an orange theme here, I'm going to add what I would ordinarily call a splash, but because I'm writing this down, I thought it might be a good idea to actually measure. I'm thinking it's a half teaspoon, which is what this measure is here.
That's more of a snick than a splash.
Really? I don't do snicks, so
3 snicks to a nerd.
I have no idea. Anyway, so I'm just adding that at the very end. That's off the heat. And that is a cranberry sauce. I'm going to pour it
Nice.
into a jar, and it's going to set up. Now, one of the reasons it's as dark as it is because I used brown sugar. If I hadn't used brown sugar and I hadn't used the orange, if I used white sugar, water, and cranberries, this would be a brighter jewel red than it currently is. So it's up to you. I mean, I don't mind it being a darker color, and the extra flavor is lovely. So there you have it, cranberry sauce. It took 10 minutes, maybe? Less. How easy is that, right? You don't need to buy a can. You can make it yourself, and it tastes so good. Please, go make yourself some cranberry sauce.